I'm Hannah. I'm a tutor at Sky Academy. We are looking at the topic of algebra, MSA4 in the Year 12 Standard Maths course. We are looking specifically at non-linear relationships, and this is our 6th video in this topic. And we're looking at reciprocal models. So we had a look in our previous video at what a reciprocal function was, and we came to understand it as y equals k over x, where k is just a number, 1, 2, 3, or 4, etc. And it will create a hyperbola shape where there will be two lines in two opposing quadrants. So it could be in this quadrant and that quadrant if it is a positive, or it could be in this quadrant and this quadrant if it is a negative. And we know that a model of a function is just a practical real life example. So we're going to go and have a look at a reciprocal model. And we're just going to use the information from our 5th video, the previous video, on reciprocal functions to answer the question. So it says the time taken in hours for a road trip at speed in kilometers per hour is given by the reciprocal function t equals a number, for example 2000 over s. Construct a table of values for s and t. So we know how to do this, so we're just going to go ahead and do it straight away. I'm going to do it down here so we have room. And instead of having x and y, we are going to have s and t. For our s values, our speed, I'm just going to give it practical speeds. So for example, I probably wouldn't want to go over 100 kilometers per hour because that's probably like the speed limit. So I'm going to go from 10 to 100. So 10, 20, let's go 40, 50, 60, 80, and 100. And let's put that in. And now let's put the values for s into our equation to solve for t. So t equals 2000 over our s. Our first s value is 10. And so you should get an answer of 200. And I'm going to do that for the rest of my values, just substituting s for the values in my table. So for 20s, you'll get 100, 40, 50, 40, 33, 25, and 20. So if I have a look at my table of values, they are all positive values, which gives the indication that I'm only going to need the top quadrant because that's the quadrant that only has positive values. We know a reciprocal model normally has two lines, but because this is a practical situation of this, we can't have negative speed. You can't have negative speed when you're driving. You have to be going at some sort of speed. Even if you're reversing, you're still going at 20 kilometers an hour or something. And so you can only have positive values in models. And so that's why we're only going to use the top quadrant. This is going to be our s, and this is going to be our t. And now we have to put our scale on. For question B, it says draw the graph, and so we're going to put our scale on to draw it. So for S, I'm going to go up to, for T, I'm going to go up to 200. And so I'm just going to go up by 50. So that would be 150, 100, and then 50. For S, I have to go up to 100. So I'm just going to go up by 20. So 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. And now I'm going to put the points from my table of values onto my graph. So when S equals 20, T equals 100. When S equals 10, T equals 200. 40 to 50. 50 to 40. 60 to 33. 80 to 25. And 100 to 20. And so there will be our reciprocal function for question B. Question C, how long did the road trip take at a speed of 70 kilometers? So speed is down here, so 70 would be about here. So maybe around 30, maybe 30 kilometers per hour if we were to go across. And I'm just going to check that by substituting S as 70. So T equals 2,000 over 70 because that's our speed. S is speed. I'm going to check my time, see if it took around 30 hours, see if my graph is correct. It took, if you put it in your calculator, the answer comes to 28.57. So it's roughly 30, just a little bit under. So I think we're pretty accurate saying 30 hours. And lastly, why is it impossible to complete the road trip in 10 hours? If we have a look at where 10 hours would be here. And the speed you were doing in 10 hours was 200 kilometers per hour. And if you think about it in the practical situation, if you're driving a car, you never ever really go above 120 kilometers per hour. And I'm pretty sure it's illegal maybe to even drive 200 kilometers per hour on Australian roads. So that's the practical application to it. Why is it impossible to complete the road trip in 10 hours? Because you'd be going over the speed limit and that's illegal. So that's how you draw a reciprocal model and answer accordingly.